at that moment. My doctor came over, she did a sonogram, and she was like, like, oh my God, and I was like, what? She was like, oh my God, he's suffocating. And I'm going, who? And she was like, the baby. So I'm sitting here on this birthing table, ready to have Winton, and next thing I know, they are wheeling me into this operating room. She's got me on this gurney, rushing me down the hall. Steve is in behind me. He didn't know what was going on, and I was like really getting frantic. And they rushed me in there after giving me something to deaden all this, cut me open, pulled Winton out. He was like literally like purple in his face, and the cord was around his neck, and they removed it, popped him on his bottom. He started to cry. It was a very emotional moment for me and Steve. During this emotional time of my life, it was further complicated when I realized that I was not alone in my relationship with my husband. That was a painful thing to have to deal with. I really didn't want to believe it. I didn't want to accept it. At that time, our life and lifestyle and Steve's career had really started to move forward, and there were a lot of outside influences around us constantly. It began to be a concern of mine, but you can't lock yourself away. You have to continue to live your life. You have to be sociable and all of that, but realizing that when that moment did hit me, when it first hit me really hard, it was on our second wedding anniversary. Our second wedding anniversary, I was in Los Angeles, and I was getting ready for our second anniversary. Steve was in Chicago. He was on the air, and he was sitting in for Tom Joyner. He was very excited about it, but he was in Chicago waiting on me to join him to celebrate our anniversary. I'm sitting in my kitchen, and my hairdresser is there, and I'm getting all dolled up, and there was a knock on the door, and it was a guy from downstairs, a valet guy, and there was a package that had come to the apartment, and it was really supposed to go to our office, but somehow it made its way to the building, and the man gave it to me. And the instant that I saw it, it had like confidential scrawled all across the top of that envelope, and I don't know, something just fell apart inside of me. So I stopped my hairdresser, took a break, I opened the package, and I started to read this letter that was from this woman, and she really started to go into detail about how long she'd actually been in a relationship with my husband. When I first became aware that there were other people involved in my marriage, it was really hurtful to me, because my marriage represented so much to me. It was my life. My children, my marriage, the fact that Steve and I literally came from nothing. I had worked hard. I had given it my all up to that point to help make him successful. It was like there was a film rolling, and in my mind, I thought about us meeting. I thought about how I met him. I thought about the many times we were on the road, because we literally couldn't pay for airline tickets. We were on the road, dressing in the car, sleeping in the car, eating from the back in the trunk. We were, it just got to the point to where we were literally living off these coins. We had a big, huge bag in the trunk, and we would always toss the loose change in the bag. And there were times, many times, when making it to the next day, we had to rely on those coins. But then there were some times too, I know back in the day, y'all remember this, before, when I think about how quickly he moved forward from me to Marjorie, that was disturbing. With all the emails and the text messages and the different things that were that I was finding out about, I thought the least that he could do, make me whole at the end of it. He left. He just left, walked out the door. Once he realized that I was going to divorce him, he walked out the door. He had a shoulder bag. He walked out. Went right to New York, to our apartment that we had there, which I never got to see, by the way, and then she joined him there. Marjorie joined him there. Never an apology. Steve never said that he was sorry. He had our housekeeper pack his belongings up and forward those belongings to New York. And after that, that was it. When it was time to go before the judge, Steve did not show up. I was standing there alone with his attorney, at least the attorney that was representing us. He did not show. And the judge said, okay, you're divorced. That was that. The not having closure part was really devastating. But on top of that, he took my Winton. Took my Winton from me. He turned my son against me. Had me evicted from our house. Thrown out. All the businesses, all the money, the cars. At a moment when I was down and devastated, he maneuvered everything. He manipulated the courts, everything against me. He went to court and under oath said that on his own he had built this whole thing by himself. And I just sat at the table and cried. I cried through the whole thing, and I fell apart. I was crying. I couldn't focus. I couldn't answer any of the questions that they were asking me, and I woke up, everything was gone. It was just gone. And as much as I tried to put it behind me, it's hard to put something behind you that keeps popping up in your life. When I saw the Essence magazine for January 11, to keep seeing my name referenced, when as much as I tried to put all this behind me, as I sit and talk and speak right now, there's a lawsuit that's been filed against me in Texas because in Steve's opinion, I was responsible. I was responsible when Oprah did not give him a TV show. I'm being sued for that as I sit here on this sofa today. So as much as I'm trying to move forward, I keep getting pulled back into a situation that I don't want to be a part of. So that is why that I have to deal with this right now. That is why I'm saying what I have to say. In lieu of the lawsuit against me, he and his lawyer prepared a letter of apology. He was wanting me to sign off on this big huge...
Okay, Mary, so after all that you've been through, what do you want right now? It's 2017. What do you want right now?
In 2017, I want justice.
Okay.
That's something I've never had. I want people to know the entire story, not just bits and pieces that were bought and paid for. I didn't jump on the back of Steve's life when the cart started rolling. I was there help pushing that cart. And sometimes when the wheels came off that cart, I put the wheels back on the cart. And everything that was taken from me,
by Steve and Marjorie, forging my name and signing off on things even before she even had the legal right.
Oh my god. Awesome. Oh my god. Awesome. Awesome.